So for step 7, attaching the tail lights, well, you can see that we need to grab our tail lights, and we've got double-sided tape, and you need to put them on all 4 corners basically of those light pieces. Then we've also got these louvers on the side, and these pieces right here, H12 and H13, and so we need to install those as well. And then of course we're going to need to grab these 2x8 screws again, and just like what we did with the last step, we're just going to have to go and grab those out of the little bag. Now there's the piece that we need, there's one of the louvers, and there are the 2 pieces for the tail lights. So I'll set this up and let's put these on. So let's start with getting this side louver onto the back. So you can see here there are 2 of them. Now again, if you get this confused, you have to make sure that you grab the right one because they both look different. So if you see this, when this is put on this way, just get it in the hole, there we go. Notice that it's curved up so that it's around the rear fender. If we put on the other one, it's going to be facing this direction, and then it's wrong. So you want it that way. So if I turn this around, you can see that the way this is going on, you grab this, and then this sits over top, and then we grab a screw, and these small tapping screws are going to hold the whole thing in place. So we spin this on. There's not a lot of room for where the screwdriver is, but let's do this again with the other side. I just want to get this started for now. Okay. So now that there's a bit more room, I'll turn this up a bit, camera up so you can see what I'm doing. Now, try it this way. They're very small, and I need to make sure that I don't put too much pressure on this, but enough that it's gonna work. And there's not a lot of room for your hand either. So need to get these in. They're getting there. And again, just be careful that you don't strip these out because they are still very small. So I want to make sure that these are going in, but once there's resistance, I'm not going to be screwing them in that much farther, just in case. So there we go. There is one of the side louvers in place. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do the other side. You don't need to see it again, you get the idea. So I'll do that, and then we'll go to installing the taillights. So there we go. There is the other louver on the other side, so we've got them both on. Now I could have changed this a little bit, but this is covering up the second part of the decal, but I didn't. I left it that way, and I'm okay with it. It still looks good. So now let's get on to the tail lights. Now you can see, and if we grab the right one here, this one, if we look at the way this is sitting, let's go with this one here. You can see that you needed the double-sided tape. I've done that. So if we look at how this is supposed to be installed, right, this will sit down here like that. and you can sort of see how it's got to fit over this, and you would push it in. So I'm just going to make sure that and it does. You can see that the raised area sort of needs to fit inside those light openings. So we're just going to need to push those in place. So let's take off the double-sided tape. There we go. And now we're going to fit those into here. So you can see how that's going to sit in that hole. Make sure that the markings are correct. And we'll slide that in place. It fits. You can see how it fits over top of this ridge here. I think you can see that in the camera. It might be too dark, but there is a little ridge there, and then we can attach lights at a later date if we want to. But as a whole, from this side, you can see I guess there's not much you can see from this side. You can only look at it from the other, but you get the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one the exact same way, and then we'll take a quick look and move on to the next step. Okay, so both taillight pieces are in place. We've got our louvers in place. So we can move on now to step 8. And now we're going to install both the top and the rear wing. So for step 8, attaching the rear body parts, well, we've got the top wing to put on, and there's a brace that you've got to put on underneath to hold that down with the screws, and then we have our rear wing. And again, there are the screws and the way that's got to go, and they are 2x10s, so they're the ones with a much larger head on them. Now here's the wing, the top wing, which was painted red, and then the rear wing, which I've got my logo on it, and I also put some other logos on the back of it as well. So I will set this up and we'll put these wings on. So I think the first one we'll put on is the top. So if we grab the body, you can see that this, and what you're wanting to do is have the pointy end facing forward. That's going to sit on top of the body just like that. And on the underside, you've got this brace. And based on what they're showing there, which isn't that detailed, so I don't think it matters, but you can see that I think I'll face it this way because there's little marks on it. I don't want it facing backwards, but that's got to sit over top on both sides. And then we've got these screws. They're going to screw down and attach it to the top of the roof. So I'm just going to spin this on for a second, get a feel for it. In fact, I might do the same thing with the other side as well. Because what I want to be careful of not doing is pushing so hard that it slips and then I mess up the paint job. Let's see, that's on the side a bit. That's what I don't want to do. I'm taking it easy because I want to make sure that, yes, it's getting attached, but I don't want to mess anything up by because if something slips, then next thing you know, we've got a damaged body. Okay, I need my other tool here. That's getting too slick. It's hard to hold it when you're not. This is better. There, that's on. There we go. So you can see there, it's all screwed down with those two screws, and now we've got our roof wing in place. Man, I can't speak today. There we go. Okay, so now that that one's on, we're going to put the other one on. So you can see here, now let's go the same way they're showing. This is going to fit on like that, and the screws go in on an angle. Now there are no pieces that go in with this. It's just direct. The screws are going into the wing directly, which can't be right. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Something's amiss. Oh no, we've got another piece, so I gotta grab that first. Okay, so let's try that again. So obviously this wing is going to sit on the body just like that, but on the back side there are these little pieces, the H2s, and you can see that in the way they're shaped, one's wider than the other, but you kind of get the idea because that wider spot has to go over the hole so that the screw has the smaller hole to go into. So this might be difficult with the camera. I may not be able to do this, but let's just try this and this. Maybe. No. Well, I'll use my other hand, or my hand, to hold down the bottom for a second. See if I can do it this way. Yep, that'll do the trick. So let's grab the other one, the other piece. And actually I'll put it in this way out of curiosity. Let's see how this would work. Stick that in there. Nope, gotta get it started somehow. Maybe. 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 Yeah, looks like this is gonna work out just fine. So I'm going to the end, but I'm not screwing these over tightening because I can feel when it's grabbing. As soon as it's fully done, I'm just gonna stop. Yep. And there we go. So there is our rear wing, which looks super cool from the back. And of course then you've got the logo on the front there too, but that's cool. Love it. This thing's looking super cool. Okay, so that means that step 8 is complete. So now we're going to move on to step 9, and now we're going to attach the side mirrors. So for step 9, attaching the side mirrors, you can see that we've got the mirrors here, then we have the decals, and then we need to pop these on, and there are these O-rings and then the pins. And then of course we've got the decals that have to go over the fog lights that we put in earlier. Well, I have shown this numerous times, and in fact I'm going to put a link to a video where I actually do show more of this, but they're so finicky and it's hard to do on camera that I went ahead and put them on. And you can see from the inside you've got your O-ring, and then the pin has to fit on over that, and then they're just going to be sort of there's a bit of cushioning because of the pins. Now with the front, I just went ahead and put those decals on, so there they are, plain and simple. But that looks too cool. So that means that step 9 is complete. We can move on to step 10, and look at that, we are ready to put the body on. So technically, and I'm just going to do it this way, here's our car, and I'm just going to make sure, get this right, get the body on there. There we go. And there we go. So there is our Fiat 131 Abarth Rally on the chassis. And this is all set for the low position because of the Poor Boys RC speed run challenge, but I will, once this competition is over, I will change all that and put this back to the rally height. But that is too cool. So that is it for the MF-01X Fiat 131 Abarth Rally build series. This has been so much fun to put together. And I've been running this with the Poor Boys RC 2024 speedrun challenge now, and it has been so fun out there. And the body design custom job, I just think has turned out super cool. So I'm super happy with this. So if you know anyone that is looking to build an MF-01X and they're looking for help, please do share this video series, and subscribe. Let me know that you're actually enjoying these videos, and I'll just keep making more and more content. It has been so much fun to do, and I'm loving the comments that I'm getting and questions that people are asking me, and I'm always happy to respond. So this is too cool. So anyways, until next time, we'll see you in another video.